Hello, wonderful universe. It's Jennifer here at Eureka Astrology and Healing. And today we're doing our Moon Mindfulness Challenge once again. And we have just moved into the Leo moon. The Leo full moon is coming up. So I'm going to be talking about the aspects for the next couple of days here coming up leading into the moon so that we can get a feel for what's going to maybe be emerging for ourselves, others, and maybe even globally, because the energies are very active, especially tomorrow. It is February 14th today, and we're going to go all the way to the 16th, which is Wednesday. The year is 2022. With that, we're going to talk about aspects, and then we're going to be doing the phrase for Leo. As I said, we're going through every month and doing something different. It's going to be the phrase, which is going to really help us understand this full moon, I think. I really felt like this phrase connects with the full moon and the energies that are going to come out, and then I will do my check-in. With that, we're going to talk about the aspects, and some of them are going to be to the moon. Some of them are just aspects in general because I feel like they're really going to be felt. I didn't want to ignore them. It's not going to be everything, but just a quick, brief little information set on the aspects in the next few days. So the first thing that's happening today, besides the fact that the moon has moved into Leo, is Mercury has moved into Aquarius. So if you remember, Mercury was in Aquarius, did a retrograde, and it's finally come back. It's come out of Capricorn, right? Capricorn was grounding it, telling it to get serious, think about the things that it needs to do to create what it needs to move forward, right? That bigger structure, what do they need, what do you need to be responsible for? So it's thinking about those things, and now we're just getting a little bit of a lightness here, getting a little less grounded and going into an air sign, which Mercury loves. It really loves that fast pace. Mercury is associated with air, so there's going to be a lot of thought going on. It's going to be starting today. People are going to be thinking about, right? So they thought about, what they need to do for responsibility, or the structures around them that maybe don't work anymore, or the authority that is maybe I don't want to say controlling them, but the authority they're under, right? Now they're going to think about how they can change it, right? So even though Saturn rules both Capricorn and Aquarius, Aquarius is the bigger picture, and it's also saying, all right, what didn't work back there? Because we got to change this. We need something new. It needs to be innovative. It needs to be unique. And it might be changed suddenly like that, because Mercury's fast and Aquarius likes fast energy. And it's just like, okay, I've assessed it all and I got the idea here. It might be something out of left field, but we're going to be experiencing this for the next few weeks as Mercury marches through, or I should say flies through Aquarius, because it's done some assessment and now it wants, and I'd say total action, but it's really thinking about, okay, this is, I'm going to give new ideas to this situation, and it might be for the betterment of everybody. It's like, okay, you created that structure that was for everybody, but once again, it didn't work, and so now I found the tools and the things I want, and I'm going to give a new answer to restructure things. Maybe you're not ripping everything down completely, but pieces here or there, or maybe you're taking everything down. We have to remember that Uranus is in Taurus, and that does create, it's always creating energy squaring into Aquarius, so it could be something completely dramatic. There's no strong aspects right now with Uranus, but I always keep that in the back of my mind right now. Uranus likes the unexpected, and so I think that might be coming in, and especially the next few days with different aspects with the moon. But so be open to these brilliant ideas that you may be getting, right? So the next thing, and this does not involve the moon either, is that this is going to be happening for a while, and it's not going to be exact conjunction, but the Venus, so the desires, value, bringing things together, feeling good, right, is conjunct Mars. So the drive, I'm going, I'm getting it done, and if this doesn't work, I'm cutting it, it's out, it's over, and marching on, running on, I'm over it, right? So they're in Capricorn. So again, we've talked about Capricorn season. It's not over yet, but these two planets are slowly, moderately going through Capricorn. But the thing is that Mars entered in and has been going through it directly forward. It hasn't gone back, it hasn't reassessed anything, it is just going forward. Very, very Mars-like, right? Mars does go retrograde once in a while, but it's not going to be in Capricorn this year. But Venus, however, it got almost to the very end, and then it had to reassess all its desires and maybe things that needed to get dug out again of things with responsibility and this authority. And now this planet knows kind of what it wants. There's a little more confidence. Still may feel a little restricted. It's not the favorite place for it. Mars does like Capricorn. So Mars is like, with Venus, I can lead the way, but not quite yet. Venus is in front of or leading the way through Capricorn, saying, this is what I found, I'm going to show you this first. And Mars is like, okay. And at some point, not this week, Mars will move over Venus, and it's going to start to lead the way. And Venus is going to have to kind of take a back seat because Mars has a lot more power in Capricorn. And where they're going is to Pluto. And that's another video because they will all conjunct very closely in the beginning of March, and that should be something very, very dynamic and pretty, I think, profound and powerful for a lot of people. But that being said, there's still that energy of people thinking, and I shouldn't say thinking, actually going for, like, maybe taking action in what they need to do for being an authority or restructuring authority and knowing what they desire. Because Venus really thought about it. Now it knows what it wants. So together, I think they're a nice dynamic duo. There may be times that Venus doesn't want to do some of the things that Mars wants to do, or just take a back seat and chill for a bit. So there might be some of that tension going back and forth. But overall, I think it's good. And it's, like I said, they're conjunct, not exactly. And this is going to be a theme that's going to play out for this whole month. And it's really starting now, slowly. So, and really apexing when it gets to Pluto in the beginning of March. So with that, we've got the aspects for the moon. And so tomorrow, the moon opposes Saturn, and Saturn's in Aquarius, and the moon is going to be in Leo, like we said. So, Saturn's hanging out in Aquarius saying, what can we do for the collective? We need to change this. We want things to be better for the world, right? And what can we do? And what needs to be sacrificed or let go of, maybe even, right, to rebuild. It's okay though, right? Because it's going to make a better world. And the moon's like, I want to play. Hey, let's go and dance. Let's have a party. And I want to be, like the center of the belle of the ball, almost, like, take a look at me. And Saturn, and that's Leo, right? Like, I want fun, I want play, I want romance. And Saturn's like, we're thinking about things here. We're doing things around here this is not playtime. I mean, it can be play, but it does not always necessarily look like play. And it's like, hey, it's not all about you. So there may be some feelings of really wanting to express, right? The moon in Leo. Express yourself. Again, play, fun, passion, just shining your light. And, what is Aquarius? The furthest from the sun. And when we think about planet rulerships, it's the furthest away. And it's like, no, we're not. This is not what we're doing right now. We are taking care of everybody, maybe friendships, goals. Like, it's a group thing, even though there's still the individual, right? So Aquarius does rule some individuality and uniqueness. So it's not that the uniqueness is stamped out. It just doesn't demand attention or needs to be the center stage. It's like, I am cool, I am myself, and I'm just walking on. It's not going, okay, I need to go out and be validated potentially by others to see my expression. So it's neither good nor bad, but I think people, as much as they want to have some fun, are going to feel a little bit of tension with having to have some responsibility to the larger group at the same time. I think there can be a balance. Remember, when it's in opposition, there can be an even balance. It doesn't, there's a teeter-totter. I think of balancing it out, how you can express yourself, maybe within a group, and maybe your individuality can bring some ideas or generate some ideas, but know when to pump the brakes and take a seat back so that everything can get done for everyone, right? Not just yourself. The other tenuous aspect that I see tomorrow is that the moon squares Uranus and Taurus. So it's kind of a fixed party sign here. So remember, these energies are also very set in their ways. If it's Aquarius, if it's Leo, if it's Taurus and Scorpio, it's fixed and it doesn't, each one is holding space for a certain energy of fixedness. So again, causes a lot more tension. There's not as much flexibility and adaptability. And with Taurus, again, Uranus is the modern day ruler of Aquarius. So in some ways, it's with the Aquarius sun, feeding into that positive, but with the moon and Leo, not that Leo doesn't like unexpected things, but, I'm sure that it doesn't if it takes away attention from it. And so again, the taking away the feeling of, people wanting to be expressive and also the center stage, I see like unexpected change, maybe taking away from someone's time to shine or emotionally shine. It's like, okay, you feel like that, great, but guess what? This over here needs to be taken care of, like whether it's food or shelter, these things of material, or maybe you're assessing your values and it's like, well, I value this and this and this, and it's really important to me, but maybe not shining my light so intensely. I have to kind of dial it down a bit so that, I can fully live my values. So just kind of a little bit of electricity. I can see it maybe causing a little bit of drama, especially because we're going into the full moon, just kind of like, because Uranus is this electric buzz, and the moon is, when it's full, kind of already has its own electric buzz. It's very, emotional. And since Leo's dramatic, like I could think big emotions being very intense and kind of electric at the same time, because that Uranus kind of charging in the day before. A positive aspect that I really like to the moon is the moon's going to be trining Chiron, and Chiron's in Aries, and Aries is about self-sufficiency and courage, and just like I said, I am like, it's knowing who you are without doubt and moving forward. And there can be a lack of confidence in Aries too. It's another fire sign, right? And so when Chiron's there, when it's working at its now I want to say negative, but it's not as strong as it wants to be, it's afraid it's not going to get its needs met, and it's not going to be able to move forward or rise to the challenge. With the moon, these feelings of confidence in your expression and your authenticity is shining into Aries, going like, yeah, I know I'm good and you're good, and we're going to go together, and that I'm good is going to go like, I'm good. It's going to go like, oh, that's right, I am good and I can step forward. I have these skills. I have this unique expression. It's a beautiful thing. And then we move into Wednesday, into the full moon. And what's happening with that is the full moon is coming, it's in its last degrees, so it's not even the whole day. Here in the Central Time, it's going to be at 10:56. And shortly thereafter, the moon's going to shift into Virgo. So it's not going to be at its peak for very long, but that's why I kind of focus in on Tuesday, because I feel it's really building. And so, of course, the sun is going to be opposed the moon, because that's how you get a full moon. So again, like what I was talking about with Aquarius, the whole collective versus the personal and expression and being center stage, causing maybe a little bit of drama, because really, gosh darn it all, you feel like you need to be seen and heard and expressed, and you should. Just remember, you may need to dial it back at moments. And then the next thing is that the moon squares the North Node in Taurus. So kind of, it's not Uranus like I talked about earlier, but Taurus comes back into the scene, and that North Node saying like, I'm focusing in. The collective's going to be focusing in on this for the next year and a half. And in this quick moment, Leo just says again, I want to play, and Taurus is like, well, but maybe make sure you have your stores of food. Make sure that you have the things that you value first before you go out there. And maybe it kind of could take away from, I want to say it, take away confidence from that Leo expression, but it could if you don't feel like you have the things you need to move forward. And if you don't value yourself, you may not want to express yourself, right? So that's a square. So a theme in this full moon is to really believe in your self-worth and your value, so that you can express yourself authentically, right? You're worth it. You're special. When you shine this light out, you're going to get back what you shine out, right? And so you have to have that confidence. Have the confidence and not the fear maybe of the lack, and maybe the Taurus, that harder aspect of Taurus, right? So just think about that a little bit on this full moon. Express yourself and, be mindful of the collective at the same time. Know your worth, and I think, and your value and your uniqueness, and it's going to be a good thing. With that, I'm going to talk about the phrase, and the phrase for Leo is, I will. And what a strong thing. It makes me think of the core chakra here, and that it comes with the will, right? And the yellow chakra, very associated with Leo. And what I thought about this is okay, we came from Capricorn, or I'm not Capricorn, we came from Cancer. And it was, I feel like there was an experiencing of the world, and then we get to Cancer, it was like, I'm experiencing and connecting with it on an emotional level. And then you find your emotional security, and you find the treasures that you have that make you unique, and you are ready to emerge like a lion and pounce, and just be confident in who you are and how you connect and share and shine your light. And that is you need that will, right, to bring it out, like being able to, I don't want to say exert yourself onto others, but bringing and presenting yourself out into the world and willing it into the world instead of keeping it inside. You're willing something to happen. And like I said, shine, show, express, play, be passionate. All these things are great in this Leo energy, and this energy creates. It can create children, it can create art, But with that will, you can create something. If you don't use your will to do something, it's not going to happen. You are using that core energy source. And I feel like that I will leaves a mark on the world in a positive way with your expression. It's the impact of the energy, and I think it's fantastic. And without the will, and I mean, I think a lot of people can resonate with this. If you have a weak stomach, like how hard it is to move your body through the world, how many physical ailments you can have with musculoskeletal if you're not working from your core. It's hard, right? And you're not getting to move yourself through and present yourself fully. And so, and then there's a lot of other things too. When you don't have the confidence, what happens to you in this world is that you don't get to fully express yourself, and you may not get to reap the full benefits of the beauty of the things that are out there for you because you're not putting it forth, right? And then there's the shadow side, as always. And so, and like I said, I will is very important for each person. It can be overdone, trying to exert too much and always out, and not letting also some things be received, right? Always pushing, I don't want to say, just always say pushing that energy out. It can seem forceful to some. So finding a balance for sure. You don't want to dominate the energies around you. You just want to, express and let it be interwoven with the energy around you. And then also too, if there is potentially, if the will isn't strong, there could be, people could still be presenting themselves like I will, but maybe it's a little bit afraid and not full of the courage of the lion and looking for validation. So when Leo, if it needs that validation, it's not the true power or the I will, right? Because it's looking for the power of others to support it. In the most positive, the Leo presents it out and people are excited and they present it back, and it's like this back and forth feeding. Think of actors and musicians who, feed off the crowd, but the crowd feeds off them. It's kind of this mutual thing. But when someone presents something and is hoping they get liked, it's a kind of a one-way street. They're waiting, and then if someone says, "Oh, well, I don't like this," even if it's your true expression, it's your most beautiful thing, well then, there's not a core there. And then they say, "Well, I don't like that. It's not good." And then you may lose confidence, but that's really who you are. You don't want to lose that. So don't lose that. With that, my check-in, it's been Leo for just a few minutes. not a few minutes, but not for very long. The moon's not been in Leo for very long for me here. But, this is an energy that I try to work with in my chart because that's where my North Node is. And I don't have really anything else there. And it's a little foreign to me as an Aquarius. And so I work with it. And doing this video has made me appreciate it more and work with it more and be confident that it's okay to bring yourself out into the world as long as you do it with balance and love and, service to the divine. With that, this is Jennifer at Eureka Astrology and Healing. May the stars guide you and the plants ground you. Ciao for now.